you brought up, and I think the four are the four things you get judged on are psychological safety, emotional intelligence, inclusive communication, uh, personality discovery, right? And then team building. But can you dive into that? Because these words get thrown around, Okay, so like you started to explain that psychological safety, what does that really mean? And before you started to dive into it, I have to be honest with both of you. Okay, psychological safety, what is that? Emotional intelligence. You hear this, you see it on LinkedIn, professional platforms constantly. But I don't think truly enough people understand those keys that you're testing. So can we expand on those for the people listening?
Sure, yeah. So psychological safety, again, it's about just feeling safe within a team, that I can express my ideas, thoughts, and opinions without any fear of retribution or criticism. And so it came about in two ways. One was a study done by Google, where they looked at all their teams and said, who were the high performing teams? And they realized it's not just because we have high performing people in a team or people who all work together well. It's those teams who feel psychologically safe. They can speak up, because if you can speak up, you're going to come up with more ideas, right? More innovations. You're going to see risks that you might not have seen if you were too afraid to express that risk. And also, around the same time, there was a professor at Harvard, Amy Edmondson, who studied hospital teams and looked at the ones who made the most mistakes versus the least mistakes. And again, psychological safety was the number one factor of those surgical teams not making mistakes. So it's really important. And then emotional intelligence is just the ability to understand your emotions and understand others' emotions and know how to tailor your communication based on that. So, if I'm a manager and I want to give my employees some feedback, and it might be a little bit of feedback of, something they can improve on, but maybe their mother just died. Today might not be the best day to do that because they're not in the right state of mind to receive that feedback. So it's about just understanding, and same for your own emotions. Am I hungry right now? Am I hangry? Maybe I shouldn't express my opinion right now. I should go get some food first.
Yeah. And personality discovery is more about understanding how personalities affect communication and how you can adjust your communication style in order to communicate to someone else who has a different personality from you. I know there's been talk that, people don't want to be put in a box. And I totally agree, because like one of the things I mentioned not too long ago in a post I did is that they use these personality assessment tools as a way of hiring someone to get the right fit. But personality has no right fit, because that means there's an unfit. There is no unfit personality. Those differences are actually needed. So in this experience, we're just trying to show that these personalities are in your team, and look how you can solve things together when it's that different. And in inclusive communication, we address bias, gender, generation, and culture. Again, showing the fact that when you have these different experiences, like in culture, you're from a different culture, how does that affect how I communicate? Or, I have biases, how are these biases impacting how I think and how I communicate what I think, or how I speak to someone? So it's kind of just looking at everything that affects how we speak to someone. Again, going back to what I said earlier, it's about understanding someone and where they're coming from in order for you to be able to communicate your message and also understand what they're telling you.
Yeah, and all of these work together. All four of these areas work together to improve your communication skills. And like, Rahel, I'm more of a risk taker. She's kind of less of a risk taker. And it works, because if I didn't have her to kind of let me see those risks, I'd be doing all sorts of crazy stuff, And if she didn't have me, she would never jump off the edge, so you need every type of personality and culture.